Yeah. Epstein files in less than 5 minutes. I wrote this thing so you won't drown in it, yeah. This is the story about the creation of wars. Murderers, greed, spies, turn conquistadors. Muslim brothers and my 6 friends, the CIA. Hella people were murked so that they wouldn't parlay. All the trafficking, drugs, girls, deaths, and guns. Global band of sociopaths that kill for funds. Glencore, world bankers, diamonds, oil, and drugs. Snitch and you get murked by a leading thug. There is no one-word answer, and the press won't say a word, because the press works with the CIA. That's Project Mockingbird, via media outlet called OCCRP. It's a press channel funded by USAID. Let's start this out in the mid-70s. A teacher named Jeff lied about his college degrees. Jeff soon got a job at Bear Stearns Bank. He dated Lily Greenberg and granted him some rank. LG was the boss's daughter, she also worked at Bear. This helped him keep the job, who knew banks could be unfair? Jeff rich connections in the new world he entered. Made a wave of terror banking like the World Trade Center. Always remember that you can do what Jeff did and scale the corporate ladder by banging someone's kid. Pay attention to this because later in the game, Maxwell's daughter G was literally the same. Next bet hired a liar, not a lawyer. Embarrassing as hell, so the boss gave him a position catering to rich clientele. This club was formed by the Muslims to resist all things USSR and all things communist. Then we find out too little, too late. Communism merged with Islam and managed to infiltrate. There is no one-word answer, and the press won't say a word, because the press works with the CIA. That's Project Mockingbird. Bear Stearns work with BCCI, shadow bank with Islamist ties, which leads us into a terror cartel, plus pedo agent Jean-Luc Brunel. The most important client, Leslie, he owns lots of land. He is plugs in the interworld, own limited brands. Les Wexner had ties to international spies. They all met at the Safari Club, corroborated lies. Club was owned by Saudis but was in Kenya, then Iran. It's where global intel asset would deal weapons and bang fun. This club was formed by the Muslims to resist all things USSR and all things communist. Then we find out too little, too late. Communism merged with Islam and managed to infiltrate. There is no one-word answer, and the press won't say a word, because the press works with the CIA. That's Project Mockingbird. British Douglas Leeson, French Maxwell, Jamal from Saudi A in the hood from Israel. Bill from Arkansas was a snitch turned spy. He worked with George H.W. Bush, probably know the guy. Next, Clinton's girl is next stop on the death train, employed by Rose Firm in Arkansas. Bitch helped traffic cocaine. Here's a weird thing, like what the F. Hillary the law intern was like a female Jeff in the late 70s. These guys figured out a plan to arm the Islamist trafficking via Pakistan. Weapons from USA, but this was a global deal. Then Reagan's Iran tried happening, Islam took the wheel. Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden, Taliban, ISIS conveniently created a migrant crisis. Suddenly it became cool to be a martyr. All this shit was happening under Jimmy Carter. Next, 1991, Robert Maxwell turns up dead at sea. What will? At the same time, Les gets rich mysteriously. What will? Jeff is with Robert's daughter, her name was G. Maxwell. She knew how to fly choppers, she killed men from the cartel. There's no one-word answer, and the press won't say a word. If it's happened before, it can happen again. Time to talk about WTC, make amends.
If it's happened before, it can happen again. This one's for the victims and shout to bands. So it can happen again. If it's happened before, it can happen again. This one's for the victims and shout to bands.
If it's happened before, 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 it can happen again. If it's happened before, it can happen again. This one's for the victims and shout to bands.